Digital transformation is changing our world.
Our mission to empower every person and organization on the planet to achieve more.
It's making us more connected, more productive. We are empowered to create amazing things together. But transformation can't happen without trust. Trust that our best ideas are secure and protected.
Trust is at the core of this. And we're taking a principled approach with strong commitments to make sure that our customers can trust digital technology they use.
Cloud-powered intelligence is leading the way, securing the intelligent edge and protecting the places we work, so we can create our best together and achieve even more.
Please welcome Corporate Vice President of Microsoft 365 Security, Rob Lefferts.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for this critical conversation, whether you're live in the room or watching it streaming. Trust is the word that leaps out from that video, and it is trust that is fundamental to everything we do and get done, whether it's trust in the people that you work with or trust in the digital environment, the digital estate where we are productive every day. Today we will have a conversation about how we help you, our key partners and IT professionals in this room, build greater trust for your employees to be more and more successful at the work that they do using the tools and expertise that we help provide you. Every minute, $1 million is lost to cybercrime. That's a stunning number, and in many ways, it's not news. It's an ongoing conversation about the war that we are fighting, and a war which we now have to turn the tide. We are faced with an urgent and essential mission to make sure that we can help you better fight every day in this conflict. And today we're not going to just talk about bad news and the big scary numbers. We're also going to tell good stories about the news events that didn't happen, because together we were able to block the attack and prevent cybercrime from happening. You are the heroes on the front line of this war. These stories come from you, whether you work in IT or security, in a small business or a large one, or you work in a partner helping another company to be secure. Together, we will turn the tide in this fight, and we will do it because we will give you the tools and insight that you need to overcome cybercrime and to deal with the many obstacles that are in your way. First, we all know that the bad actors keep getting smarter. This happens because at the top of the ecosystem, well-funded nation-state attackers are building more and more advanced techniques, and those trickle down and become part of the mainstream tool set that hackers are using every day. Second, we need more of you. We need more qualified, expert security professionals working to fill roles in security administrators and security operations around the globe. And third, the landscape is more and more complex every day. There are more things connected to your digital estate, whether those personal devices employees want to use, IoT cameras in the corner of the room, computers at home, all of those are being used to make your employees productive and also create a complex environment which you have to make secure. Cloud and cloud intelligence can help you manage that complexity. First, because it can help you wrap around and embrace the reality of your modern digital estate. And second, because it can provide that next generation of AI and automation that can supercharge the work that you do. This is parallel to innovation and breakthroughs we see in other industries. In fact, the medical technology industry is undergoing a revolution in the use of big data and data analytics to break through in treatments. One area that is experiencing this is the area of cancer research, where deep information about individual cancers, individual patients, and broadly across geographies, lifestyles, and types, we can garner a great deal of information and use that to create the precise surgical tool to solve an individual problem. And the parallels with security are rich. There is so much data, and each attack is constantly morphing and constantly evading the tools that we use to try to catch it and stop it. And furthermore, all of this information is highly private. And it is essential that as we build greater security, we do the right things to keep information protected and secure. So here's how we built it for security. First, we start with amazing operational skill. At a global scale, we run across hundreds of data centers, and we've thoughtfully built out every aspect of what security means for that cloud fabric. It starts with physical access and making sure only the right people can get into the buildings. And from there, it extends into how do we deal with the operations? How do we make sure that only the right people have access to critical customer data at any one time? And that fabric drives our cloud infrastructure in Office 365 and Azure, and it becomes the underpinning of the capabilities that we deliver for better security. Second, it's about deep insight and expertise in what is going on in security today. We have over 3,500 cyber security professionals, industry experts, working in the Cyber Defense Operations Center, the Microsoft Threat Intelligence Center, the Digital Crimes Unit, Defender Labs, and all of them come together to power our capability with real knowledge about what is going on in the environment, what is happening in the landscape, and what are the things that are most important for you. In a way, this extends your team by 1,000 with our expertise. And finally, it's about the data. There are many things that humans are really good at. For example, humans are excellent for creativity and insight. But when it comes to understanding a huge set of numbers and a broad set of data, this is the place where AI, data modeling, and computers can really assist. I can't even really wrap my brain around the number 1 million. It's sort of hard for me to imagine what a million of anything would look like. So how can we wrap our brains around the 6.5 trillion signals a day that you heard about this morning from Satya? In order to process that, we need massive scale, storage, and compute. And more importantly, we need sophisticated models that actually interpret that information and turn it into insight and action that you can take advantage of. And it really works. Here are examples just over the past year about the news stories you didn't see. Emotet was an outbreak where we were able to quickly analyze the bytecode of the information running on machines around the planet and stop 400,000 PCs across the Ukraine and Russia from being infected with coin mining software. Ersniff, which you heard Satya talk, was about spotting the needle in the haystack by being able to detect obfuscated macros running in word memory before they were able to download malicious payloads. And phishing campaigns are being run against your users every day. We estimate we block about 700 million malicious phish emails every month in Microsoft 365. This isn't spam. This is targeted to steal credentials from your users, and the best protection is that they never even see the email. Today, we'll walk through a whole suite of enterprise-class tools to protect your environment. And here's a metaphor, a little bit simplistic, to help you think about it. It starts with a house. And in this house, we'll protect the front door. We'll have monitoring systems to watch everything going on, whether glass is broken or someone's wandering around. We'll understand where is your jewelry, your prized financial documents, and make sure they're locked up safe. And we'll provide you with a regular report card on the things you can do next to secure your house. This is identity, threat protection, information protection, and security management. But of course, your environment is way more complicated than that, because in your companies, you don't even have walls anymore. You live in a world of so many devices and so many SaaS web applications that things can come from anywhere at any time. And we will talk through the enterprise-class security technology that we deliver to you in order to address the concerns of a modern enterprise. We begin with identity and access management. Joy Chick, Corporate Vice President of Identity, will join us on stage. Joy lives and breathes identity security every day. Please join me in welcoming Joy Chick.
It's great to be here. So I started at Microsoft over 20 years ago. And back then, Microsoft gave me an office with a machine under my desk that is hardwired to the physical network. Laptops were rare, and smartphones were unheard of. I had a VPN, but I had to dial in. And I use all the apps that's connected to the corporate network. And today, as I look at all of you in the audience, I see many personal phones, tablets, but not a single wire here. You're getting work done. You're using many apps across many devices and from many different networks. This is what put identity right at the center of your security strategy. Because the only thing there's one of is you. Digital transformation is all about you. You, your relationship with your employees, your customers, and your partners. You make your business run more efficient than ever in the world without physical parameters. And you're getting more productive and more secure with the power of the cloud. The move from on-premise to the cloud brings huge benefits, but they also represent huge change. And change can be hard, but we are here to help you. Like Rob said, we have our services, our experts, and our AI that are working for you 24/7 around the globe. So here's an example. Using cloud intelligence at the global scale, we're able to detect and block tens of millions of attacks every single day. And many of these attacks are undetectable on your own. But we can detect that when we look at the traffic globally. And as new attack emerges from one part of the world, we can quickly detect and protect you globally. And when those of you have put this to work, we have seen that the compromises has been reduced by 96%. So cloud identity really makes you more secure and more productive. So let me talk for a moment about security and productivity. The end is important here. People talk about security versus productivity. But we've learned that in order to have security, we must have a highly productive environment. And the good news is identity doesn't ask you to choose. It is a powerful tool that enables both security and productivity at the same time. So now let's look at a specific example how identity can improve security and productivity. Identity governance. Identity governance allows you to manage, monitor, and audit your end-to-end identity access management lifecycle. When a user requests a resource access, governance policies ensure access is granted easily, securely, and meet all the security and compliance requirements. So now, let me show you how an admin can grant resource access to a partner company that using this capability. So here, I'm an admin at Adatum Corp. What I want is to enable my sales and marketing team to collaborate with my business partner, Contoso. With the new Azure AD identity governance, I start by creating an entitlement. Entitlements are the cornerstone of identity governance. They allow me to group users, resources, and policies that needed to grant access. For this demo, I have already created a set of entitlements. So let's look at the sales marketing entitlement that would enable my sales team to work with partner Contoso. First, we need to specify the resources associated with this entitlement. Here, I have 2 apps, 1 user group, and a SharePoint site. I can add more resources as needed. Next, I need to define the policies associated with this entitlement. And I'm interested in the partner policy here. In the policy, I can define users, groups, and partners that can be associated with this entitlement. I can add or remove a partner. And for this demo, I have already added Microsoft and Contoso. But I could add any of my company's partners through our Azure AD B2B capability. And for this demo, I'm auto-approving request access. But you can also delegate the approval to your business group. So I, as an IT admin, don't have to get in the way. Next, but not last, is I set the expiration date for the policy. For example, at Microsoft, we have policy that all vendor access must expire at 12 months. Of course, you can set whatever expiration that makes sense to you, and you can also extend access when you need it. So what I have just shown you is how an admin can group users, resources, and policies all together to grant access to a partner company. It is very easy for admin to set up, and it's quite flexible. So now, let's see the user experience. Okay, so I need you to use your imagination here, because now pretend I'm an employee that I work for Contoso. Remember, Contoso is a business partner of Adatum. That I just got an email from the Adatum's marketing and the sales team that invited me to work with them and asked me to click on this link to request access. This is myaccess.microsoft.com. That's the new experience for users to get access to all resources that they need. And in this case, I'm taken directly to the entitlement that contains the resource I need to access. So let me request access, and then I hit Ask Business Justification and Submit. Now I'm in because I'm automatically approved. And now I can see all the applications, the SharePoint site, all the resources I need to get to work. So I can start right away. So what I have just shown you is both the admin side and the user side, the experience, that are all powered by Azure AD Identity Governance. And I'm very happy to announce that this preview is coming soon, so watch out for the announcement. Azure AD Identity Governance allows you to easily and securely to manage your corporate resources from the day an employee or a partner start to work to the day they leave, all while ensuring that security and compliance needs are met. So now let's take a look at another way how identity can ensure security and productivity. Earlier, I mentioned tens of millions of attacks we detect and block every single day. And most of these attacks was caused by stolen passwords. If you configure your users with multi-factor authentication, MFA. That reduces the risk by 99.9%. And that is 1,000 times safer. Unfortunately, a surprisingly high number of customers have not turned on MFA. So this is like driving without seatbelt. I don't think anyone would do that. For the most part, it is out of the fear that the impact on the user experience. But MFA does not have to be disruptive to your employees if it's implemented with the right model. When a company does it right, this is typically what I hear. I literally turned on MFA without telling my employees. And no one even noticed the change because the login experience was what they expected. And at the same time, it makes my security team very happy. So when MFA can reduce risk by 99.9%, why have you not turned on MFA? As I described earlier, as your organization going through digital transformation, physical parameters have melted away. Or like Rob said, the house walls have come down. Companies need to handle multiple users from multiple devices using multiple applications from many different locations. So we need a new way to think about security. And that is zero trust. The easiest way to think about zero trust is act as if everything is on the open internet. And in that case, you never trust and you always verify. And a robust zero trust strategy requires an end-to-end solution across users, devices, applications, and data. It uses policies and real-time signals to determine that when to allow access, when to block access, or when to require additional proof, such as MFA. Always verify does not mean adding friction. For the most part, verification can happen in the background, so not get in the way of user productivity. And Azure AD conditional access is our policy toolkit that helps you to implement your zero trust strategy. We have more than 20 million users that apply conditional policies every single day. With over 40 terabytes of signals across commercial and consumer services every single day, combined with machine learning and AI, we can prevent attack before they even happen. And this is the unique benefit that we bring to you. So now let's take a look. Let me pick up from where I left off, from the last demo. Remember, I'm an employee at Contoso. Contoso is a business partner with Adatum. That I've just got access to all the resources I need to collaborating with Adatum sales marketing team. So let me get started with the SharePoint site. The conditional access policy at Adatum requires that any first-time user to agree its term of use. So let me accept that. Now I'm in. And you also notice that this site is marked confidential. Let's go back 1 second. One slide. The site is marked, just 1 second. So this site is actually marked confidential, as you can see. We have expanded our conditional access capability that now you can apply policy based on data classification using Microsoft Information Protection. So now let me enter the marketing plan doc. What I see is there's a notification at the top, that yellow label, that tells me that because my device, remember I'm a Contoso employee, that because my device is not managed by a datum, such that I cannot download or print or sync the file to my device. But I still can get a lot of work done. I can review, I can edit, I can comment. I simply cannot download the file to my device. So this is an example how conditional access can help you to enforce your zero trust strategy, but at the same time to keep you productive. This is a big step forward, but we are not stopping there. To enable you to be more secure and more productive without boundaries, we protect you across the industry. We collab within Microsoft, across the industry, and with security experts around the world to keep you secure. This is because not only business, but the human lives are at stake here. So we're always pushing ourselves and asking the question, how can we keep you even safer? We know that over 82% of the breach are caused by stolen passwords. So what if we can eliminate passwords altogether? If you heard Satya this morning, Microsoft is making this a reality. The future is passwordless. And the future is now. The Microsoft Authenticator app enables you to sign in with your phone. Using your phone is one of the most convenient and secure way for you to sign in. The phone is something you have, and like fingerprint is something you are. So this is two factors in one. It is as secure as smart card, but much easier to deploy and manage. You can stop phishing, password spray, breach replay, and whatever comes next to attack you. And while doing that, we can provide a great user experience. So here is the power of passwordless. I'm now going to show how this is going to work. This demo is so quick, so don't blink or you'll just miss it. Now I'm coming to my Mac. I'm in Office web app. I choose my email address. And instead of prompting me for a password, I got a notification on my app. So I choose 11, what I see on the screen, and then confirm with my fingerprint. And now that's it. It's that simple. I am very excited to announce the public preview of Azure AD passwords login with Microsoft Authenticator app. This supports all Azure AD connected apps on-premise and in the cloud. And in addition, we have been working with industry to develop FIDO 2.0, which will enable a whole ecosystem of authenticators, such as hardware security key, fingerprint readers, and much more. Identity empowers individuals and organizations to be more secure and more productive. It is the secure door to modern workplace. So let's embrace it. And here are the 3 steps that I want you to take right away. Turn on MFA. Remember, you can reduce risk by 99.9%. Protect all your apps with Azure AD Conditional Access. And begin your passwordless journey with us. Thank you. Let's welcome Rob back to the stage. Hey, Rob, have you turned on passwordless login?
Absolutely. I love it. It gets me to work faster. Thank you, Joy. As you can see, we are passionate about creating a great user experience and helping employees be more secure and more productive. Now I'd like to turn to a very different audience, security operations, or SecOps, working in security operations centers around the globe. Click. We've got security technology, and now we have slide advancement technology. Excellent. These people have a challenging job. It's incredibly important, but they need help. Over the last few years, Microsoft has been working on tools across identity, email, and the endpoint with Azure Advanced Threat Protection, Office Advanced Threat Protection, and Windows Defender Advanced Threat Protection. And this has changed the game for defenders. We hear it from our own blue teams in attack exercises that we run on Microsoft, and we hear it from customers around the globe and the visibility they are able to get and the breaches and attacks that they are able to resolve. But there is more to do. The job is incredibly challenged because first, disconnected tools. There's, on average, a company has 60 to 80 different tools that they are trying to integrate together and monitor inside of the SOC. And SecOps teams are expected to bounce back and forth between those. Second, these are all generating noise and alerts. And so the most tragic story I ever hear is the one where the alert fired inside of the Security Operations Center, but nobody had time to investigate it. And the breach went unremediated for weeks or months while the SecOps team was busy with other tasks. And finally, these teams have too much to do. They need more help, and they need to move from a world where they are forced to follow up on every single last mundane task and get to automated workflows where cloud intelligence is not only giving them insight, but also taking action on their behalf to drive investigations and to automatically remediate the problem. Today, I am proud to announce Microsoft Threat Protection, bringing together the best of Office, Azure, and Windows Advanced Threat Protection into one integrated experience with enhanced integrated insights coming from the Intelligent Security Graph. On top of that, we use the Microsoft Graph Security API to give access to developers at your companies and partners to take advantage of those insights and build the custom powerful tools to keep customers safe. Microsoft Threat Protection works across all of these pillars around identity, endpoints, user data, cloud apps, and infrastructure. It makes sense of the 6.5 trillion signals per day, and it provides SecOps with the tools that they need to be supercharged and to be superheroes. And again, it really works. It drives real investigations. We hear stories from customers about how amazing things like, we had leftover infrastructure, SQL servers with open RDP ports sitting on the internet, and someone stole admin credentials and used that to break into our environment. Similarly, USB keys are still a threat, despite all of our attempts to educate users about don't pick up that USB key and stick it into your laptop. They still do, and attackers have become smarter about how to leverage that infiltration point to launch a more advanced attack, a fileless attack, specifically designed to evade antivirus and to evade detection techniques. And PowerShell tools to harvest credentials and use that to exfiltrate those credentials as well as to spread throughout the organization. Our vision is that we provide organizations with this insight, but that we also provide our expertise. And as we go forward, we will talk about a world where you can ask us questions, and we send you not only alerts from artificial intelligence, but we allow you to get additional advice and insight from our advanced security operations teams. I'd like to really geek out and show you exactly what it's going to look like in a security operations center as Microsoft Threat Protection rolls out. This is where we're headed. This will show up in Microsoft 365 between now and the end of the year. You will go to security.microsoft.com, and the first thing you will notice is an experience that pulls together users, devices, email accounts at risk. It gives SecOps that one-stop shop to know what's going on across the modern workplace. And in addition, it gives you a list of the active incidents, your landscape of what's going on in the environment. And let's click into that. And it gives us stories. These are not alerts. This is not disconnected noise. These are actually together telling the story of how an email arrived to a user, and then that user's endpoint was compromised, and then that moved into other users off of that same endpoint and moved throughout your network. So these are connected views correlated about the important things happening across your information and organized according to the severity of the individual incident. So now let's take a look at the first one. Here's your place to understand the full scope of this story. It starts with a timeline view where you can see how did they break in, what did they do on this endpoint, how did they move around, and then even the steps that Microsoft Threat Protection took to automatically start to remediate and contain this threat. And below, it shows all of the individual alerts coming from multiple places. So the first one is a suspicious PowerShell. Looks like someone launched PowerShell from within Word. Again, this is not what people normally do. That kind of behavior is limited to attackers. Second, here's an interesting user account that is subject to a golden ticket attack. We're able to pull this together because we have information coming from the identity system and the endpoint, and we pull that together to show what is happening in this end-to-end incident. Now let's look at the devices that are impacted. It's not just a set of individual machines. We correlated across all of the endpoints that were involved in this story, and we give you a view of everybody that's impacted. In addition, if you can look at the tiny font, you'll notice that there are highly confidential tags flagged on these devices. What that means is we've looked at the data on this device, and it is classified as highly relevant for business information, highly confidential, and we give SecOps that information to guide their investigation to the incidents of the highest impact for the business. In addition, we already turned on conditional access. So in this zero trust world that Joy talked about, we've noticed that these devices really can't be trusted. And so we've flagged any attempts to log in coming from these devices to require additional MFA, to reset the passwords, or to block access into the limited access mode that you saw Joy talk about. Here are all of the users that were impacted by this incident. And again, this is pulled together by pivoting across all parts of the incident, and you can see we've automatically started to contain this breach by applying conditional access. These users will again all be required to provide additional MFA prompts to make sure it's really them, or even, I don't trust this account anymore, I really need the user to reset their password, or just block access until such a time as SecOps has time to interact with the individual human involved. And it drives an investigation. This is the view of a playbook that Microsoft Threat Protection would use to do end-to-end remediation. It starts with containment. And so the first thing is to make sure you stop the spread. Microsoft Threat Protection will automatically, as you saw, apply conditional access for the users and the devices involved. Second, we need to do a full investigation. The worst possible thing is that we take out only some of the breach without understanding all of the places that the bad people got to. And we do that by really pivoting from this is the endpoint. Let's find all the user accounts on that device. Let's find all the files and processes that were impacted. Now let's search through the entire enterprise to find other places where those files show up, other places where those users log in, and pivot to get the entire scope. Once we understand that, we can build a plan to remediate. And we can take it all out at one time. For many of our customers, they'll start using automated tools in a semi-automated way, saying, show me what you're going to do before you do it, so I can make sure that I trust the action that is about to happen. But as customers grow more confident with our automated tools, more and more they turn on fully automated flows, and the system can go and automatically remediate the incident. So in this case, the suspicious PowerShell was fully remediated. Good news, everybody was saved. Yay! That kind of tool, that kind of artificial intelligence really drives SecOps, but we're going further than that. We're actually connecting them to the expertise that we have and our understanding of the threat landscape. So if you look down in the lower right-hand corner, there's a tile here called Threat News. And what this is actually giving you is new information on the landscape coming from our research teams. So I'll click in there. The first one is a new actor that we made up called Bad Kitten. And we give you a full page of threat analytics about Bad Kitten. I will say that I wish all of our attacker names were as cute and fuzzy as Bad Kitten. Usually they're much scarier than that, but perhaps this is a new trend for us. For Bad Kitten, we want to understand, how does this organization work? What are they after? Who do they attack? And what is the prevalence across the world? In addition, what has happened in your organization already? And are there users and devices that have already been impacted by this brand new outbreak? And we help you get started in digging deeper into your organization in order to see what might be going on. So I'll click on Start Investigation. And here we see an advanced hunting page. This is incredibly powerful. What's actually being shown is we are using the query language from Log Analytics to allow you to do full queries over 30 days of information aggregated across endpoint and identity to find unique and interesting events in your organization. You can find it even if the device is turned off, even if it's on a plane, even if it's been stored in a closet. And our researchers have been turned loose on being able to uncover new and interesting things to apply their smarts with these tools to learn more. So in this particular example, we're showing you a query that'll help you find more about Bad Kitten. The interesting thing is, where did this come from? We've built a community of researchers who are designing these queries and sharing them. It lives live in a GitHub repo that already exists. And here, we've connected it into the threat analytics page to give you queries to get started on finding Bad Kitten. This particular query is looking for all of the endpoints where a browser session was launched from Outlook that is then connecting to one of these known bad IP addresses where Bad Kitten is operating. That's the kind of query that you need to be able to execute to find sophisticated actors like this. And furthermore, you can schedule that query to rerun on a regular basis. It becomes an active monitor to help you fire new alerts in your organization. So that's amazing power, but I'd like to take a second to actually talk about how that works in the real world for real customers. One of the things we're most proud of is the way that we have worked with critical companies as design partners, and one of the most advanced companies that we've been working with is BP. Let's hear their story.
BP is about providing heat, light and mobility for a changing world. We are federated across the globe. We operate in over 80 countries. We have very complex business models. So I think BP, like every other company, has now recognized to excel in business, you have to digitally transform. Security is so important to us because we hold a cyber incident as one of BP's high priority group risks. So we've got to make sure that we are managing that information appropriately and applying the right controls around that. If you can get people to use the product consistently in a standardized way, it reduces the threat landscape. As a CISO, the greatest benefit I see from Microsoft 365 is the integrated nature of the platform, but the most important benefit is we provide our end users with a native, intuitive capability that they're going to use.
Please join me in welcoming Simon Hodgkinson, Chief Information Security Officer for BP. Hello, Simon. Thank you again for taking the time to come and share your story. It's great for us to hear, and I know that it's great for everybody here.
Thanks, Rob. It's a real pleasure to actually be invited along, actually. Thank you.
Great. BP's digital estate is vast. Across all of the refinery and the retail shops, it's amazing. I can only imagine what it is that keeps you up at night. What are you worried about?
Well, as you said, we are one of the world's energy leaders. We have a vast network across the globe. We support literally thousands of users, 80 different countries. At the same time as every aspect of our business is going through digital transformation. As Satya said earlier today, every company is a digital company. So from exploration to extraction to refining to marketing to operations, everything is being transformed at the moment. So with that scale, obviously the threat landscape is huge. So that's what keeps me awake at night.
Yeah, and the assets that are being protected are critical. So tell me a little bit about the security strategies that you have and the journey you've been on to protect those assets.
So BP holds cybersecurity as one of our high priority group risks. We hold it in three categories, I guess. One is around misuse or loss of information. The second is business disruption caused by a cyber event, and we all saw what happened in 2017 with NotPetya and WannaCry. And then impact to our process automation systems. So those are the systems that run rigs, refineries, terminals, etc. So, our job really at BP is to make us cyber resilient. That is the core strategy of the team. In order to do that, we have to make everything secure by design. So as we go through this digital transformation at the scale I talked about, absolutely core to that is actually creating secure platforms that we build capability of. And we see a real benefit of working with Microsoft around that security built into the platform layer that we can then leverage for our digital transformation.
Well, that sounds like a comprehensive strategy. How do you factor end users into that? How do you make sure that they have a great experience?
It's all about end users, right? I mean, I think if you make security hard for the end user, they'll find a way around it and actually inadvertently create a much bigger cyber risk for the company. So what we're trying to do is make sure that everything we do from a security perspective is easy to use. It was interesting hearing Joy talk, and I had a big smile on my face. So when we deployed things like multi-factor authentication, our users didn't actually see the fact that we deployed it. Because the products are there, it's actually easier for them now to actually use the capability. People are the first and last line of defense. If you make security hard, people will work around it. Microsoft really provides you that native, intuitive capability for all of our employees to really leverage.
Is there anything else about the Microsoft strategy that you found appealing for your team?
So I think it's the ease of deployment as well. So, for us, it gives us great operational visibility, and it's great to see what you were just presenting there, Rob, about the Security Operations Center and bringing all of that telemetry together. So it gives us that single point of visibility into our operational environment as well. You have a really well-formed, strong cloud roadmap. So, our digital transformation is based on secure cloud platforms. You have a strong roadmap, and underpinning your cloud roadmap is a really strong commitment to security. So that's been a real core part of us choosing to work with Microsoft as one of our core providers in terms of the digital transformation.
It's great to hear. It is foundational to how we think about what we're approaching. What kind of insights were you able to provide to you and your team?
So with the telemetry that Microsoft has been able to provide us, and we've deployed Microsoft as part of a multi-layered defense, so we're getting telemetry in from other capability. we've been able to improve our ability to protect, detect, and respond to incidents as they occur. So it gives us deep insights into what's happening in our environment today. It also gives you deep understanding of things like attack paths as well. So I think we've really benefited from taking that capability. But actually from Microsoft generally, in terms of the whole cloud platform, we've decided to take the best of all Microsoft's products, actually. And again, that integrated, intuitive, native cloud platform is providing us much easier operations, much more visibility into our operations. And again, I'll come back to it, a much easier solutions for our end users to engage with.
That's great. I'm so happy to hear that we're able to provide that. Thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything else you'd like to leave us with?
So I think our collective team will never be done, right? I mean, this is a real arms race. Digital transformation will be key to everybody's business in this room. It's absolutely core to BP. But actually underpinning that is cyber resilience as well. So you can't digitally transform and avoid the challenge that is cyber resilience. You said at the start, there's a lot about trust and relationships. What I found with Microsoft is we've got a lot of trust and a very strong relationship. It feels now that we can really influence the product roadmaps. There's a two-way feedback cycle going on. Microsoft are very different. I want to compliment you, actually.
Thank you.
I think Microsoft are very different to work with now as a company. And I think we have a real trust relationship between the two companies that will help move security forward for the industry and BP.
Thank you for that. It is a priority for us, so it's great to see that that's showing up. Thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Simon.
Thank you.
That is just so important to me, to hear that connection with customers, to hear the difference that we make. And as you heard, these tools that we build, we don't just build them in a vacuum. We build them in design partnerships, starting with Microsoft, working with close customers, and more expanding that out to the broad contents of the room and everybody so that we can keep everybody more secure. You've probably caught on to our vehicle by now. We're incredibly excited about where we're going with Microsoft Threat Protection, but you can get started today. Go to security.microsoft.com, and it will lead you into Office, Windows, and Azure Threat Protection. Deploy those and supercharge your security operations teams. In addition, Azure Security Center as a tool for making sure that you can see and understand what's going on with line of business apps running in the cloud, that those can be secured appropriately, and you can detect threats and investigations running against them. Threat protection is really exciting. In many ways, it is the thrill of the hunt. Finding these bad guys, stopping them while they're doing bad things. But we need to keep in mind, at the end of the day, most attacks are about data. It's about bad actors stealing, ransoming, or even just destroying your critical intellectual property, the lifeblood of your company. And so the most important thing we can do is really understand what is the information you have, your information estate. And we can restrict access to it, flag places where it's at risk. And you can actually see that this formed an underpinning of all the demos that we have seen, this understanding of the information. Being good at this really requires getting a real roadmap of where your data is and what parts of it are important. This is information protection. And it requires first a unified way of thinking about all of the information that you have, moving from fragmented random bits of policy into a unified taxonomy, one set of labels to say what matters and how are we going to handle it. And then using that to go from a world of scattered knowledge to a world where you have rich dashboards providing you insight about what's going on with all of the information in your organization. And then finally, just like with passwords, you have to make this work for your employees. You have to move from a world of difficult, poor enforcement to a world where intuitive experiences are built into the products that they use every day so that they can classify and label and be productive. This is Microsoft Information Protection. This is about locating and classifying information anywhere that it lives. And it works across discovering content, classifying it, using that classification to drive protection, and then ultimately this forms an anchor for security, as I was talking about, and it also forms an anchor for compliance, because you cannot just make sure that your information is secure, you can also use this to make sure you've applied the right regulatory compliance, or that you're handling data in the way that your customers most need and appreciate, so this becomes the root for both security and compliance. Today, we are announcing Microsoft Information Protection as a unified set of tools for classification and labeling, giving you a great taxonomy and great user experience, as we were just describing. Please join me in welcoming Kim Kishel onto stage to give you a demo of exactly what this looks like. Thank you, Kim.
With Microsoft Information Protection, we're providing an integrated and consistent information protection experience for IT admins and end users. And we're rolling out a new unified labeling experience that gives you a single place to configure all of your sensitivity labels for use across Microsoft security solutions. So let's take a look. Here, I'm in the new Microsoft Security Center, where I can easily create or modify my labels. And I can set up sensitivity labels for my data protection, as well as retention labels to address compliance and enforce data governance policies. For now, let's take a closer look at sensitivity labels. Here at the bottom, you can see that I've already configured several of those for my organization. The general label, for example, is for non-sensitive content and OK for public consumption. The confidential finance label, on the other hand, is specifically for sensitive financial information, such as credit card data or social security numbers. So let's take a look at some of these settings. What's great about this experience is that I have all of my configuration options in a single flow. And I can set up things such as tooltips to help guide my users, encryption to restrict the access to certain groups or users, and content marking. Here you can see that I've already configured a custom watermark and header for the label to kind of help guide my users visually. With Microsoft Information Protection, we're making it really easy for security admins to get your labeling schema up and running. And we have a lot of customization options if you need them. But now let's talk about end users. For that, I'm going to switch over to my Mac. The end user experience is key, because the easier we make it for them, the more likely they are to help you protect the key information of your organization. Here, I'm working on my corporate MacBook, and I'm collaborating on a document. I've already started writing down some information about a fundraiser that we're planning. And I know that in my organization, there's a policy that requires for all content to be labeled. Thanks to the new natively integrated label picker in Office for Mac, I can get access to all of the labels that are available in my organization. Here, in this case, I'm going to select the general label because right now this document doesn't contain any sensitive information. At the bottom of the app, you can now see that it was automatically applied to the properties of this document. Native labeling in Office for Mac was one of the biggest feature requests that we've had from customers, and I'm really excited to announce that this is rolling out in public preview starting today. Now, let's switch to my mobile phone. We know that mobile productivity is the new normal, and we want to make sure that security travels with it. Here on my Android phone, I have that same document up, and when I go into the editing mode, you will see in a minute that in the native menu experience, under Home, I have that same label picker that we just saw on my Mac. As I access that, I get the same labels that we saw are available in my organization, and of course, the general label is already applied because I just did that on my MacBook. And lastly, let's move over to Windows. Let's pretend I'm now working from home, and of course, I want to continue working on that document. As I bring that up on my personal Windows 10 machine, the first thing that I notice is that my coworker Nestor has added some information, including credit card data, which is considered sensitive content. As a result, the document was automatically reclassified and is now labeled as confidential finance. I can see that by the custom watermark that is now applied across the document, as well as the label up at the top of the document. Now, the key thing about what I just said is that this happened automatically. While we want to empower end users to label their own documents and emails, as an organization, you need to make sure to protect your sensitive information when it's stored in the cloud. And to help you better understand what happened in the background, I'm now going to move over to Microsoft Cloud App Security and look at one of the policies that we've configured here, which made this possible. This file policy essentially makes sure that when sensitive content is detected in one of my documents, that it's labeled appropriately. And while we naturally integrate with all of the Microsoft Cloud services, we realize that customers have options today. So what you can see here in this list is a set of selected cloud services that we support today. So wherever you choose to store your data, we can help you protect it. Secondly, a little further down, you can see the sensitive data types that I have selected that will cause this policy to trigger. And most importantly, governance. Whenever these data-sensitive files are detected, I want to make sure they're automatically classified correctly, which I've done across a selection of apps down here. Now, there's one last thing that I want to show you, and that's our new integration that goes beyond our native file formats. Here, I've taken that same document, and I've converted it into a PDF document. As you can hopefully see by the watermark, is that the classification traveled with the document. Here up at the top, you can see that it's part of the document's properties and that it's part of the native PDF file format. With Microsoft Information Protection, we're making sure that you can protect your information across the devices of your choice, across the cloud services of your choice, and beyond native file formats. And we're making it really easy for IT admins to set this up and seamless for end users. And with that, I'm going to hand back to Rob.
Thank you, Kim. Information protection is an amazing set of tools to understand where your data is and to make sure you can protect it. But some information is so critical and so sensitive that it actually stands in the way of companies making their journey to the cloud. We're talking here about things like the most private financial data, personally identifying information, medical records. These are the kinds of things where, as organizations move to the cloud, they ask the question, how can I be sure that information is protected throughout its entire life cycle? We encrypt data at rest as it's sitting on the hard drive. We encrypt it in transit, so as it's transmitted back and forth over the networks, it is safe and secure. And now we make sure that it is protected when it is in use, in the processor, in the cloud. This is almost like science fiction. It is so cool. It is like a force field bubble that sits around this data, even it is live inside of the VM, and make sure that it is completely opaque from the operating system on the outside. So even if that Linux VM were to get hacked, the bad actor could not get access to that information. In fact, it's opaque to Microsoft. Even if we wanted to, we would be unable to get access to that information. And this is built on top of a hardware root of trust using Intel SGX. In fact, we create a trusted execution environment that makes sure that all of that data is secure from the host operating system. These enclaves become a critical part of making sure data is protected in use. And we deliver an SDK to help you build the applications that work with this incredibly sensitive data. And so these apps that can run in the cloud and do amazing things like take medical data from multiple parties, build sophisticated cloud models for AI without letting individual parties get access to each other's data. Today, we announce Azure Confidential Computing DCVMs. These are a new class of VMs that are running in our data centers built on top of that Intel SGX technology. And we have concrete things to make sure you get done today. First, start classifying your content. And you don't need to start a long-running exercise to build a full taxonomy of everything that you have and know about. Start with a few simple labels that describe the simple things that all of your users can understand. Critical business data. Create the label, let your users use it. Second, deploy Microsoft Cloud App Security. This can make sure that you track all of your information as it travels around various web applications so that you can protect it and identify it and make sure it all stays safe. And finally, use Azure Confidential Computing VMs to protect that most critical, highly sensitive data across all of the ways it is used in the cloud. Now let's talk about security management. On top of all of the great technology we've talked about today, security is fundamentally sometimes just a game of hygiene and details. And the people who are tasked with doing this have an exciting job of taking advantage of all of this great technology, but they also can have a sometimes thankless job of making sure that the enterprise computing environment is fully secured and fully locked down. For all of the work they do and the hours they spend, at the end of the day, there's really just two outcomes. In the good news, maybe nothing happened. Nobody got hacked, no data was leaked. Sometimes something terrible happens, and at that point, they really come under question of what were you doing and why didn't you make it better? We're here to talk about how we help security administrators with that thankless job, and first, we need to help them understand. It's back to the conversation on the digital estate. What are all of the things that live in their environment, and what is the posture that their company has taken on the internet, with their data, on their endpoints? Second, there's an endless list of things that they could do. In fact, literally endless. They will never get to the end of the list for all practical purposes. How can we help them do the most important things first? The things that will really make a difference, and the things that we know bad actors are actually using to break into organizations. When I talk to companies of all sizes, what I frequently see is they're most excited about fixing the thing that was the last problem they had, instead of the next problem that they are going to run into. And finally, how do they talk about it to people outside of the security world? How do you quantify and express the impact that you are having? Microsoft Secure Score is exactly that tool. It is a dynamic report card that incorporates factors across your digital estate to help you understand where you are, how you've done over time, and gives you a pragmatic list of actions to take, the things you can use to make your environment more secure. And we've been using this with Office Secure Score and Windows Secure Score, and we have seen first that organizations that go look at their Secure Score make it better over time. They actually show improvement. And second, we know that this causes a reduction in breaches and incidents. Organizations that use Secure Score are 30 times more secure. Today, we are announcing that Secure Score expands to include information from EMS and Azure, and so it covers that full Microsoft 365 estate. Let's take a look at how Microsoft Secure Score can help you. Kim, if you could come back up on stage, and we'll take a look at the demo.
Thanks, Rob. All right, for the last demo of the day, I want to give you an early look at the exciting future of security management. Here, I'm in the new Microsoft Security Center. And on the homepage, I get a core set of data that can help me manage my organization's security posture. The categories span across identity protection, device compliance, infrastructure, and cloud apps. But let's start at the top with Microsoft Secure Score. What you can see here is my current score for my organization against the maximum score that can be achieved. Now, if you're already using Microsoft Secure Score today, you might be wondering why this number is much higher. As we continue to add new services from Azure and across EMS, this number will naturally increase. Below here, you can see a progression line over time of how you're doing with your score. And at the bottom, the categories that make up your Secure Score. We are moving away from a product-centric view and to these categories going forward. But now let's take a closer look at some of the recommendations of how Microsoft Secure Score can help me improve my security posture. Down here, I have an overview of controls that are suggested for me to implement to increase my score. I'm going to group these by category to make it a little bit easier to view. And I want to start with apps, and this specific control for discovering risky and non-compliant shadow IT apps, which is new to SecureScore. I can see the total points that this would add to my score, a description of what this actually does. Key for you guys in the audience, the implementation cost to admins, as well as the effect to my users. Thanks to our native integration of the products, if I were to click on Take Action, this would take me straight to the right place in the admin portal and let me make all of those configurations. At the same time, we realized that for some of these controls, you may already have third-party solutions in place. And to enable that, you can simply enable this right here and get the full 25 points applied to your SecureScore. Now, there's a second control that I want to take a look at from the identity category. And of course, that's enabling MFA. As you heard earlier from Joy, this can help you reduce risk to your organization by 99.9%. So we really want you to go and do that. You can see the same set of information right here, a total of 50 points that would be added. And in this case, I'm actually going to click on Take Action, which takes me straight into the Azure portal and deep links me to the built-in baseline policy to enable MFA for admins. So it really couldn't be any easier than that for you guys. While SecureScore provides you with a great set of recommendations on how to improve your security posture, I know that a lot of you are probably interested in the here and now. In the monitoring and report section of the new Microsoft Security Center, you can take a look at that information. And it spans across the same categories that we've seen throughout this demo. A lot of this will eventually replace the need for System Center endpoint protection. But what I want to focus on for now is the new infrastructure category right here at the bottom, which is powered by Azure Security Center. And it provides you with a continuous assessment of your compute resources, your networks, storage and data resources, and applications across your hybrid cloud workloads. This is available in the Azure portal today. New EMS controls are already showing in SecureScore as of today just as well, and infrastructure will eventually start surfacing here. So these are some of the investments that we're making to provide you with actionable insights on improving your SecureScore and to help make your company 30 times more secure. And with that, I'm going to hand over back to Rob to help close us out.
Thank you, Kim. Things you can do today. In fact, I see that many of you don't have your laptops open yet. Please do it now. Go to securescore.microsoft.com, see your score. I already know that for most of you, it will tell you to turn on MFA. So why haven't you done that yet? Make a plan to to improve your score. Forget make a plan, do the first thing, please. This is so critical to making sure that you protect your companies. We've talked about a range of great technology. In addition, it's about great partnerships. We are not alone, but we do have an incredible responsibility to work with partners to better protect customers and to build better tech to protect the planet. The Microsoft Intelligent Security Association, built on the power of the Graph Security APIs, is all about enabling partners to bring great ideas, to get access to the intelligence and insight that we get from our cloud, and to build solutions together. In addition to these partners that have been collaborating with us, here are the new companies that have joined us in the Intelligent Security Association to build better partnerships together. Thank you. You heard Satya talk about Azure Sphere. We fundamentally believe that security can't stop with the things that we know about. It has to extend into the world of new IoT devices showing up everywhere. And we have a strategy that works for that, from hardened silicon at the MCU, through a secured kernel, and into a service that runs in the cloud to help monitor and update those machines. And so as an announcement, Azure Sphere has entered public preview. Developers creating those devices can start playing with the dev kits and understand what it looks like to build the next generation of secure devices. And Microsoft Account Guard. We have talked at length about our enterprises. We are also taking all of the amazing enterprise-class technology that we have talked about today, and we are using it to help protect public institutions. This comes first in the shape of all of the great identity technology to make sure that organizations across national, state, and local campaigns can be safe, to alert them when they find problems, and to provide them with concrete advice around how to better protect their environments. As you heard Satya talk about, we have a real responsibility, and we take it quite seriously. Satya talked about Microsoft's mission: every person and every organization on the planet achieving more. We are grounded in that mission, and nowhere does it show up more than in what we do with security. We want your employees, companies, and businesses to achieve more, but they can't do it if you can't trust your digital estate. Since the start of this talk, $75 million was lost to cybercrime. We are committed to giving you the tools to address this, to turn the tide of the cyber war so that companies can move forward with digital transformation, and we can all achieve more. There are two simple things to go do. We are building better tools for you, but things you can do today. In case we haven't said it enough times, just want to make sure you get this. securescore.microsoft.com, and it will guide you through the things we've talked about today. Turning on MFA, taking the journey to passwords, making sure Windows is up to date, making sure you're monitoring your endpoints, and turn on Azure Security Center to have the same level of protection across your cloud-based business applications. Thank you for the partnership. Thank you for the time. Together, we will do what is necessary to help your employees do more and to keep the planet more safe. Thank you very much.